Have you ever noticed how certain topics feel like everyone whispers about them, but no one says them clearly? Well, here's one of them. Why so many men quietly step back when it comes to dating single mothers. It's not because men are cruel. It's not because single moms aren't amazing women. And it's definitely not the dramatic narrative people love to push online. There's a real, practical reason behind it. A reason rooted in everyday life, human psychology, personal priorities, and the reality of building a relationship in 2025. And once you hear the truth, it makes more sense than you'd expect. Let's start with something simple. Most men don't make this decision out of judgment. In fact, many men admire single mothers. They see a woman who works hard, takes care of her children, and shows strength that a lot of people never have to develop. So the issue isn't about character, it's about compatibility, timing, lifestyle, and long-term expectations. When a man meets a woman who has kids, his mind immediately considers what the relationship will actually look like day to day. Not the romantic fantasy, but the real routine. And what he sees is a very different structure compared to dating a woman without children. In his mind, he starts imagining the effort, the time commitment, the responsibilities, the limitations, and how much space he'll realistically have in the relationship. And honestly, many men realize early on that they may not fit into that world comfortably. Most men want to feel like their partner has time, interest, and emotional availability for them. But when he dates a single mom, he understands, even if she doesn't say it, that her kids come first, and that's exactly how it should be. But it also means he knows he will come second in many situations, not because she doesn't care, but because she has real responsibilities that can't be delayed or ignored. Think about this from his perspective. A man might plan a date, arrange a dinner, or prepare something special, but her child suddenly gets sick, or the babysitter falls through, or school calls her in. She's not being inconsiderate, she's being a mother. But for the man on the receiving end, this can slowly start to feel like he's always adjusting, always waiting, always being patient. If it happens repeatedly, even the most understanding man begins to struggle with the imbalance. Then there's the schedule issue. A woman without kids can be spontaneous last-minute road trips, late-night conversations, weekend getaways. A single mom can't do things on impulse. Everything is planned days or weeks ahead. And for some men, especially those who value flexibility and adventure, this becomes a major challenge. Now let's talk about something men rarely mention out loud: the presence of the ex. Even when the ex is respectful, cooperative, or completely out of the romantic picture, he is still a permanent part of the system. There are shared decisions, school events, co-parenting discussions, and unexpected emergencies. Many men feel uncomfortable stepping into a dynamic where another man will always be connected to the woman they're dating. It's not jealousy, it's the feeling of entering a relationship that already has a structure built by someone else. And then there's the emotional side. A lot of single mothers have gone through heartbreak, separation, or divorce. These experiences shape how they see relationships. Many of them become extra cautious, protective of their kids, careful with trust, and sometimes slower to open up emotionally. That's understandable, but some men don't feel prepared to handle that emotional weight. Finances also enter the equation for some men. Raising kids is expensive, and while a good man never expects to replace the father, he knows that being part of her life means eventually being involved in the kid's world too: school fees, activities, birthday gifts, emergencies. Even if she never asks him for anything, he knows the lifestyle naturally comes with added responsibility. And perhaps the deepest factor, though people avoid discussing it, is the future. A man thinks about what he wants long term. Does he want kids of his own? Does he want to build a family from scratch? And if the single mother already has 2 or 3 children, some men fear that their dream of having their own child may no longer fit into the plan. Not because she refuses, but because her life is already full. Many men who date single mothers describe a slow, subtle shift over time. They start strong, full of effort and understanding. They care about the kids. They try to be supportive. They accept the limitations. But months or years later, they realize something painful. They're giving far more than they're receiving. They're helping with responsibilities, adjusting their time, sacrificing flexibility, and becoming part of a family that can disappear if the relationship ends. And that's another fear, the emotional risk. A man may bond with the children, invest in their lives, and then, if the relationship doesn't work out, he loses all of it at once. New rights, new visitation, new connection. He becomes a memory. Over time, more men have begun to recognize that this situation feels unfair to them. Not because the mother is doing something wrong, but because the structure itself makes things challenging. And so, many men decide not to enter that situation in the first place. They prefer relationships where they can grow together from the start, build a future step by step, and be each other's first priority. But let's add another layer that people rarely discuss: identity. A man wants to feel like he's not just filling a role, but creating a relationship that reflects who he is and what he values. When he enters a single mother relationship, sometimes he feels like he's stepping into a life already designed, already shaped, already running on rules he didn't create. Some men fear losing their own identity in the process, becoming a helper, a supporter, a backup, instead of a true partner. And then there's the social pressure. Friends might ask him if he's ready for that responsibility. Family may question his decision. Society sometimes paints men as villains for hesitating, even though their concerns are logical and emotional, not judgmental. This pressure makes some men pull away even before giving the relationship a chance. Another important point: emotional bandwidth. A single mom has to divide her attention: work, home, kids, responsibilities, future planning. A man often realizes that her emotional energy is stretched thin. She might try her best, but she can only give so much. And men, like women, also need reassurance, affection, time, and emotional presence. When he isn't getting those things consistently, he starts to feel invisible, not intentionally ignored, but unintentionally overlooked. And over time, that creates emotional distance. Finally, there's the fear of becoming temporary. A man knows that children grow attached quickly, and if he becomes part of the family, he isn't just dating her, he's connecting with the kids too. If things fall apart, the emotional loss is far heavier than a normal breakup. He isn't just losing a partner, he's losing a small part of a family he cared about. That possibility alone makes many men step back before things get serious. In the end, it's not about blaming single mothers or shaming men. It's about understanding that relationships are built on timing, emotional readiness, and compatible lifestyles. Everyone is looking for stability, peace, and a future that feels right. And for many men, dating a woman without children simply offers fewer complications, fewer risks, and more space to build a relationship from the ground up. At the end of the day, most men simply want a relationship where they feel chosen, valued, and prioritized, not out of selfishness, but because that's how healthy relationships grow. And for a single mother, that kind of prioritization is extremely hard to provide, no matter how much she cares.